was that? That's right, folks. It is I, Brett Sieber, the host of the FTFL Weekly Update, and it is back in session. Season 2 coming right at you. And you've already seen the brand new introduction to the show. We have gone from a no-budget production to a pretty low-budget production. We've got a new camera stand. We've got a new camera. We've got brand new technology. Boom! Brains are exploding everywhere. Boy, oh boy, I have missed each and every one of you. I hope that maybe just it's a small part of you that has missed me. Of course, around me at the table, you will recognize many of the things you have grown accustomed to seeing. My third place championship, my brand new consolation championship, and let's not forget, of course, 2003 when I won the whole thing, first place FTFL champ. But before any of that can happen, before any dreams are realized, it all starts with the draft. And that's what tonight's show is all about. We're going to recap everything that went down on draft night and talk a little bit about what to expect this season. We're also going to introduce the brand new segment this year, the Ask the Magic 8-Ball segment. We'll get to that later. Just hold on to your horses. I just want to say, first and foremost, man, the draft was amazing. I loved being there with all of you guys. Well, not, I guess, all of you, because Swart was going to Iceland, and we'll get more into that later. John, I don't know why you weren't there. Andy, also lame. Eric, maybe the worst excuse of all. Anyways, we missed you. We had a blast. We're going to get into this. We're going to break this down. Now, I have done some analyzations on each and every team, run through some calculations I have come up with from the order of least likely to win the whole thing all the way up to number 1 most likely team to win this year's FTFL Championship. And here we go. Now, this may come as a surprise to nobody if you were in attendance at the draft, which I think all of us probably except for Swart. There was one individual at the draft who I compared to an individual who, if they would have only learned about fantasy football, let's say an hour prior, and were over the age of 80, this is how they would have gone about drafting their team. Yes, Linkwitz, I'm talking about you. You come in at number 10. You took Gostkowski in the 8th round. You took the Vikings defense in the 9th round. The Vikings defense, the first defense off the board, and really, let's be honest, not the agreed upon consensus number 1 defense. Both positions taken first in their respective positions. Your starting lineup is going to be okay, but really not a lot of depth. You're going to need to be active in the trade market, on the pickup, on the waiver wire. Not necessarily your strong points. If Todd Gurley comes back and has, recaptures the magic from his rookie season, maybe. How long is OBJ going to be out? You picked TJ Yeldon, terrible running back on a terrible team behind a rookie, which, by the way, John, kudos to you. You didn't select a rookie in the first round. Now, you took Marshawn Lynch, which we really don't know what that's going to lead to as well. Here's what I got, John. Best case scenario with great in-season management, 60% chance of making the playoffs. Good management in season, 35. And if you just have average management, which, let's be honest, that's kind of what you put forth over the years, 11%. On to number 9, Ryan Deesums, titties and balls. And you're probably like, wait, 9? That's right, you came in at number 9 because you have no depth. You're going to need, also like John, to be active. You are the only person in the league whose keeper is not playing on opening day. Andrew Luck, we don't know what the story is with that shoulder, but it's not doing all that great. If he doesn't come back in a timely manner, this whole season might be down in flames. Isaiah Crowell, you're going to have to rely on the Browns to have a really great offense. That might happen. Then again, statistics and history says it might not. You have 2 Packers receivers. You're going to get points from both of those. Again, great in-season management, 70% chance. That's better than John. Good in-season management, 55% chance to make the playoffs. And with just average management, 40%. Onwards and upwards to number 8. Now, number 8 is Matt. Now, we're having a few camera technical difficulties. The camera seems to be wobbling around. I promise that won't happen anymore. We've got that situation figured out, and no one is going to be bumping into the camera at any more point in time. Matt, number 8. Your strength is running backs. Well, go figure. You've got Devontae Freeman, Ezekiel Elliott, and you traded for DeMarco Murray on draft night. Weaknesses are quarterback and running back. If only someone could offer you a trade for a receiver in exchange for one of your running backs to help round out your team. If only that would have happened. Maybe, just maybe, you should check the website. Hint, hint. You know, Matthew Stafford as a quarterback is probably going to be okay. Brandon Cooks, no one knows what we're going to get with him in New England. Pierre Garçon in San Francisco also. He looked good in the preseason, but, well, it's the preseason. Stephon Diggs, I think he really just appears not to care anymore. Then again, he's a Viking, which means he's doomed to fail. Best case scenario, great in-season management, 75% chance of making the playoff. Good in-season management, 60, and average will bring you just a 45% chance. On to number 7. Not particularly happy at the way this shook out, but I'm going to have to just deal with it. That's right, number 7, the Hulkamaniacs, who, by the way, have not lost a game in over 250 days, the longest winning streak in all of the FTFL, and really, ever since changing back to the Hulkamaniacs name at the end of Week 6, I have lost only twice, my friends, just twice. Will this be the year of the Hulkamaniacs? Maybe we'll get to that a little bit later. Quarterback and wide receiver strong. Well, I knew Aaron Rodgers, best quarterback in football. Having Mike Evans and then having, of course, A.J. Green fall to me in the draft, that was going to be the case. The running back situation with Carlos Hyde and Bilal Powell, I didn't necessarily look to have a reason to care about the Niners and the Jets this year, but apparently now I will. We'll see if Adrian Peterson in New Orleans gets more carries than he's anticipated. Brandon Marshall could have a good year in New York. Rashad Matthews in Tennessee, if he repeats his numbers, maybe we move up. And then again, maybe I could get running back help if I would have offered someone a trade that has a lot of running backs, but not really a lot of receivers. Matt, maybe I'm talking about you. Hard to say. Hard to say. Onwards. Rounding out the bottom 5, in at number 6, the Radioactive Monkeys, Adam Saltmarsh, strong quarterbacks. Matt Ryan and Phillip Rivers, two of the best, going to provide all sorts of points. Not quite sure if the running back and the receivers will hold up the end of the bargain. Melvin Gordon is a great running back. Behind him, Joe Mixon, Paul Perkins, Theo Riddick. Not a lot of answers, far more questions. DeAndre Hopkins is your best receiver, maybe? I mean, he was a keeper, but that doesn't necessarily mean he was a really great receiver. Beyond that, you have 2 tight ends, kicker, and a defense. You, now the best of the bottom 5, 80% with great in-season management, chance of making the playoffs. With good in-season management, 70%, and only 59% with average in-season management. We're going to pause there. Brand new segment this year. We're going to run all season long. We're going to ask the Magic 8 Ball questions each and every week just to see if it can make sense of what's going on in the FTFL on a week-to-week basis. I've got 3 questions. We're going to ask some preseason questions, if you will. Question number 1, Magic 8 Ball. Will there be any rules arguments this season in the FTFL? Let's see what it says. And the answer we're getting is, I'm going to shake it around a bit. It says, wait for it. Hold on. I'm struggling. It's on its side. It says, yes, definitely. Well, that's just dandy. All right, on to question number 2. Will Eric finally have his name on the prestigious DSEM Award trophy? I love it and hate it all at the same time. Eric, we figured out the draft, has never been on it. Magic 8 Ball, what say you? Will Eric find his name on the toilet bowl seat come season's end? And this one says, you may rely on it. That's it. You're going down. Although, wait, his team wasn't in the bottom 5. More on that to come. Lastly, question number 3. Will Matt, that's right, Matt, the person who may or may not have been offered a trade by me for a receiver with maybe, will Matt ever find the website this season? This is the stumper. What do you got for me, Magic 8 Ball? It says, wait a minute. It is certain. I wasn't expecting that answer. Well, the Magic 8 Ball, we'll see what other kind of mysteries it unlocks for us as the season rolls on. Speaking of rolling on to number 5, it is the airport aficionado himself, Adam Swart. Let me tell you what, we got lots of background noise. We got some weird, like, partial video. I think it was your wife, but it may have been you. Both were fully closed, so don't be worried if you're thinking, what? Wait, who? Nope, and it just was a weird start. It was delayed, and then we lost you. So your draft was basically auto draft with what you'd have given Ryan Deesum. You're good at the quarterback and the running position. A bit of a weakness at the receiver. Of course, LaShawn McCoy, going to probably have a really, really good season. Dalvin Cook, one of 3 rookies taken in the first round. I think that's unprecedented. I don't know if that's ever happened in FTFL history before. C.J. Anderson could come back and have a great year in Denver. Hard to say. Here's where I think, it talks about wide receiver weakness. 3 of your individuals catching passes. T.Y. Hilton, Dante Moncrief, and Jack Doyle all play for, yes, the Indianapolis Colts, who I mentioned earlier, his quarterback isn't even playing week 1. I don't know what that does as far as spelling out success, but I know if Indianapolis' passing game struggles, you, my friend, are going to have all sorts of problems. With great in-season management, 85% chance of making the playoffs. We're getting to that point of it's getting tough to screw this up. 75% with good management and 65% with just average management. Number 4 in the preseason rankings is Jeff Markser and the Mana 3-time champ Mana. Hold on, we got some camera difficulties. Hopefully everything, nope, it's not an earthquake. It's just, I believe, a dog in the FTFL studios. I guess we'll see what that looks like since I can't really see the camera. Remember, I said low budget, not big budget, so you got to put up with this kind of stuff. Markser, of course, has running back and wide receiver strength. Well, David Johnson and Antonio Brown will get you that, no problems whatsoever. Quarterback might be a weakness. Now, you're relying on Cam Newton to come back after the struggles he had last year. And, of course, Andy Dalton may be just fine. It's hard to say. We'll see what happens when that comes to be, if you have to play him, of course. Cam Newton's bye is in week 3, and you could ride it out as we go. Beyond David Johnson, Leonard Fournette. Will the foot heal? Will it not? Yet another rookie taken in the first round. LeGarrette Blount, will he recapture the magic of a year ago? I doubt he's putting 16, 18 touchdowns on the board like it was last year. Beyond Antonio Brown, though, Demaryius Thomas, maybe? Ty Williams in San Diego. Oh, sorry, Los Angeles. I'm sure I'm going to make that mistake several times. Hard to say. Jeremy Maclin has never produced much. Even so, 90% with great in-season management, 85% chance of making the playoffs with good, and 75% with just average. On to team number 3. And if you're still watching, you're thinking, I haven't heard my team yet. Don't worry. 3 cards to go. Hagen and the Kramerica Industries had himself a sneaky good draft. His keepers, mind you, were DeMarco Murray and Terrell Pryor, one of which he jettisoned before the draft even started. So he had just Terrell Pryor, and he finds himself in the 3rd spot. Strong quarterback. Of course, Tom Brady is going to give you that. Now, probably for the first time ever in league history, a quarterback was handcuffed when at the end of the draft, Sid took Jimmy Garoppolo. And mind you, not only does he have Jimmy Garoppolo on his team, he also has Jimmy Graham, the only 2 Jimmys in the entire league. So is it safe to say that Sid Hagen has a mild affection for Jimmys? I think we can probably get away with saying that. With the running back and the receivers, there's going to be question marks. Kareem Hunt stepped into an amazing situation that got even better when Ware was declared out for the season. Terrence West might be the guy in Baltimore. Amir Abdullah might be the guy in Detroit. A lot of mights there. Sid is one of a few players that in the league that has 7 running backs. So really just playing the let's throw stuff on the wall and see what sticks method. Be outside of Pryor, Devontae Adams, Mike Wallace, who I really want. I think some really good running backs. Wide receivers. So we'll see. But number 3, if 90% with great in-season management, 85% with good, and 79% with just average management. Down to the final 2, and this one, this burns me. Neither of these guys were at the draft. One even left the draft early because he had to go to dinner. But Pack Attack, you come in at number 2. Strength, the quarterback, running back, and tight end. Maybe some weakness in the wide receiver. But let me tell you, these were some really great numbers as far as chances of making the playoffs. Drew Brees and Russell Wilson, quarterbacks. That's pretty solid. Lamar Miller, Jay Ajayi, having Jay Ajayi available, we'll see. I mean, he had some good games last year. The hope is, of course, he has more consistently good games, at least if you're now Eric, who has him on his team. Ty Montgomery's a question mark. He could be great. He could be just so-so. As far as receivers, Doug Baldwin, Jarvis Landry, Larry Fitzgerald, Martavis Bryant, welcome back. Martavis Bryant, hopefully he took that time off seriously and is ready to play. There's a lot of guys who will be putting up a lot of points. And, of course, if Gronk stays healthy, add that to the mix as well. 99% chance with great in-season management. 90 with good in-season management and 86 with just average. And on to the final person. That is right. Number 1 in the preseason rankings is Andy and Team Bazinga. Strong running back, strong wide receiver. Of course, when you keep Le'Veon Bell and Julio Jones, that's going to happen. Jordan Howard, also definitely right up there with Michael Thomas as best rookie keepers in a long time. 13th round pick for Jordan Howard. Sorry, earlier I think I said 13 for Thomas. It was a 15th round pick. Let that sink in. Holy cow. Danny Woodhead, maybe he's going to catch a lot of balls if he stays healthy. Amari Cooper is going to be probably the guy in Oakland. Allen Robinson, the Jaguars offense, I'm not entirely sure if that's going to be super duper helpful. Greg Olsen has been a very steady tight end over the years. The quarterback, Marcus Mariota, one of the few teams in our league, Andy, who only took one quarterback. Mariota is out at the helm of a very, very good offense that if they take that next step could be elite. When it comes down to it, Andy's numbers, percentages are just that elite. 99% chance with great management. 99%, which is good management. It didn't even drop. He could do nothing and go from great to good and still have a 99% chance. And it just an average is 90%. Now, I look at that and I think, holy moly, that seems like the clear-cut favorite to win this whole thing. But let's be honest, that's why we play the games. We play the games because we just never know what's going to happen. It's week in and week out. This game is meant to be a ton of fun. I hope that we have an absolute blast this year. I'm looking forward to it. I've waited all offseason to sit back down in this chair and film this show because, man, oh man, do I enjoy it. I hope you've enjoyed it tonight. I'm going to go ahead and leave us with a song because it wouldn't be right if we didn't leave us with a song. Let's wait for this to dial up. I look forward to seeing each and every one of you on the message board, talking, leaving things, leaving criticisms, reviews, and hopefully this year we're going to have lots of guests too. I'd love to see each and everyone sitting next to me during the show. It's going to be an absolutely awesome year. I'm going to dial this up here, hit the play button, and we're going to get up out of this place in just a moment. Of course, the sound system appears to be the same sound system that we've been working with. There it is, folks. This is Brett Sieber, host of the FTFL Weekly Update. We'll see you next time, my friends. Out.